Welcome to the Firehouse, the show dedicated to the brave men and women who serve our community.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Firehouse on WRHU 88.7. I am your host, Chris Moses, and today, sitting with me in the Firehouse is my boy, Gene from West Hempstead. What's going on, man?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How you feeling?
I'm pretty good this morning.
All right,
nice
so,
and
Gene,
early.
I know a lot about you.
Well, just to start, you can pronounce it. You can call me Jean.
See, there we go. So
Jean-Baptiste.
I love that.
Yes.
See, this would be something that people will want to edit out, but I don't want to edit this out. Make sure everyone say it again.
Jean-Baptiste.
Jean-Baptiste.
Yes.
Did I say it right?
Jean-Baptiste.
Jean-Baptiste. So it's
Absolutely.
not Jean, it's Jean.
No.
Jean.
I'm from Haiti.
Yeah. So I have a guy in my firehouse. I guess he probably pronounced it Jean too, but we call him Jean.
So there are lots of Haitians who just gave up on trying to pronounce, because, I've been here since 77.
Yeah.
And trying to convince people that Jean is pronounced Jean.
Instead
of Jean has been the fight of my life.
But
No.
Yeah, so some are just like,
some just accept it and just
leave it.
move on. Yeah, exactly.
No, we're gonna get it right, Jean. We get it right, Jean. Did I say it right?
Absolutely,
Jean.
absolutely.
All right. So, I know a lot about you, Jean. From the bio, reading that, we got a lot to talk about.
Okay.
But for the listeners, if you can, just tell them your full name, tell them what department, what company, how long you've been in.
Yes.
Okay.
So my name is Jean-Baptiste Carelus, as I mentioned.
All right.
I'm with the West Hempstead Fire Department, Victory Chemical Hose and Engine Company.
Okay.
And I've actually only been in for the last going on 5 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I joined the department when I was 50.
Wow.
And
we got to talk about that. We got to talk about that. A probie at 50.
Yeah.
Or a probie at 45.
I joined at 50.
Oh,
I'm
you joined it, so you're 50.
I'm 56 now. Yeah.
Wow.
That's,
okay. So
yeah. It was interesting.
Probie at 50. We got to talk about that.
It's an interesting story, somewhat funny.
Okay.
Because when I called up to ask the secretary, they send the pamphlets every 6 months or so, join the department. And finally I see one, it said, if not you, then who? And I'm thinking, you know what, they're right.
I can do this.
At 50. And so I call up and I'm like, listen, you sent this pamphlet. Is there an age limit? And she says, well, technically, yes, there is. How old are you? I said, well, I'm 50. And she said, 50? And you want to join the department? I said, well, yeah, I have some time, And she's, first thing, you think you can make it through the training? I said, yeah, I'm in pretty good shape. She says, if you think so, okay, come on down on a Sunday morning, talk to one of the officers, and they'll tell you what to do. I go down there, I speak to one of the captains, Nick.
Okay.
And he asked me the same question. Christine said, you're 50? And I'm like, yes, I'm 50. So he's like, okay, here's the procedure. Here's what you do. And we'll get back to you. Sure enough, they got back to me and said, you have to go take the physical. I passed the physical. And I do essentials. I get to primaries. It's a bunch of 18, 20-year-olds. And I'm like, oh, geez. This is why they kept asking. But, I made it through just fine. With
no problem.
It was, great
FSA,
experience.
doing all of those classes.
Absolutely. I was there driving with another young kid, 18-year-old, Melissa, going out to Bethpage, doing the whole fire training and everything else at 50. And you know what? All my friends were like, are you crazy? But you know what? At that point in my life, 2 of my kids had moved out. I have 3 kids.
Okay.
2 girls and a boy in the middle. The girls have moved out. They've graduated college. They're all working. So there's no running around town taking them to this event, that event anymore on the weekends. So I have tons of free time on my hands. I figure, you know what?
Let's do this.
Why not?
So I got to ask the question, was there anyone else in the fire department in your family, or did you know anyone, friends? No. So this was really just a flyer that kept coming.
The flyer came, it kept coming, and every 6 months or so I'm reading it. I usually toss it, and finally, this one time, I'm sitting at home bored to death. My wife is staring at me. I'm staring at her. And I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to do this. Yeah.
So first, just for all of our listeners in all the departments that's listening, those advertisements work.
They do.
They work. There's been multiple
actually,
people that came on the show that said they saw a sign, they
Yep.
saw this. So departments, do not stop doing that. I
Oh, yeah.
know we are in the social media age, but those flyers still work. Those posters still work.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
still do. So the question is, when you're sitting there and you're like, I'm going to do this, and you say this to your wife, what does your wife say?
First, she thought I was crazy, of course. All the kids thought, you're doing what? Are you crazy? I was like, yeah, you know what? There's a need.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, clearly there's a need. They keep asking for volunteers.
Yeah.
And this one caught my eye,
Yeah.
and I decided
Not-
that was it.
If
not you, then who? Exactly. So they're like, okay, but you're gonna decide to go run into a burning building, and I'm like, well, I mean, they do more than that. I mean,
that's a common
that
misconception.
is a big part of what they do, but there's a lot more that they do. I mean, the number of times we go to the storage place to, release somebody from a stuck elevator,
But it's something important.
Yeah.
Like, if not, then who is going to come get this person?
Exactly.
So-
we do a ton of rescues,
Yeah.
not just EMS related rescue, but just you're stuck in the elevator, or it's some other issue that you may be having that no one else has the sort of tools we have.
You're right.
So
to
you
fix the
call.
situation.
Exactly.
That's what we're here for. All right. So you decide that you're going to join. What made you join the company that you decided to join? Like, in West Hempstead, how many companies are there? Like, how does that work?
West Hempstead has the
One company.
The one
Okay,
company.
okay.
And it's not that big of an area to be honest with you.
Yeah, because
And
that was going to be my next question. You got Hempstead, then you got West Hempstead. What? But
so
we'll get into that.
Well,
I'll let
me
you get
just tell
into
it now. So the village of Hempstead is the village of Hempstead.
Yes.
They have their own fire department, and we actually do a lot of mutual aid for the village of Hempstead.
Okay.
Hempstead, you have actually Hempstead split in many parts, because you have the Lakeview Fire Department, which has the southern portions of West Hempstead.
Okay.
And of course, from Nassau Boulevard, actually Cherry Valley Park Shopping Center,
Yes.
you have Franklin Square that handles that portion
takes
as
that.
well. So the geographic area is really not that big.
So then what's in West Hempstead then? Like what? Because you just like the way you explain that, I'm like, how big is it? It's really small.
So we go from
Like, what stores are over there? Like that'll
yeah. So you have a bunch of taxpayers. You have the Cherry Valley Shopping Center.
Okay.
Where Cherry Valley Supermarket is located.
Yeah.
You have
where the club used to be.
Exactly.
Okay.
You have
the bowling alley. Oh, no, the pool hall.
The pool hall.
right.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, okay.
You have the Stop and Shop shopping center.
Yeah.
GameStop
is in there
yes.
somewhere. Yep.
You now have West 130 with Heritage coming as well. So you have huge apartment complexes.
Okay.
400 plus units that are there. You also have the Hempstead Garden Drive complex that's over there as well.
Okay.
So there's
that's over there. You don't go down as far as to that firehouse that's right there next to Witch's Brew.
That's
restaurant.
us.
That's you.
That's the West Hempstead Fire
So
Department.
that's the West Hempstead
295
Fire Department. So
Hempstead.
right there, right next to it is West Hempstead Fire Department.
Correct.
There you go, right next to Witch's Brew. First
Correct.
of all, I love Witch's Brew.
Correct.
I eat there all the time. So shameless plug for my guys over at Witch's Brew.
I wonder about that place. I used to say all the time, like, they're selling coffee and tea. That's
and they
it.
got food
There's
too.
a
So
line.
it's a vegan place. So it's
okay.
a vegan vegetarian place. They sell not just coffee and tea. I remember never wanting to go there because like I saw like a bunch of people in like Halloween costumes.
Yes.
I was like, I'm not.
And it
going
wasn't
in there.
Halloween, was it? It wasn't even Halloween.
It wasn't Halloween. I was like, I'm not going in there. I went in there one day. I fell in love. I've been going there for like the past 2 years. So I'm always over there making that U-turn through y'all parking lot. But anyway, we're not going to talk about that. But okay, so there you go. That's your firehouse right
Absolutely,
there. Okay,
that's the one.
perfect. And then you're taking everything from there. So you got some heavy buildings over there. A lot of fire load over there. You got the paint shop.
There's
you got the
paint
tire shops.
There's
You got
yes.
You got some stuff over there.
But amazingly, West Hempstead, thank God, actually, we do not get a lot of fire activity.
Okay.
We get a lot of automatic alarms and that sort of thing. But, a lot of times, for example, since I've been in the department, I think that I can recall we've had, maybe 10 fires. So barely 2 a year.
Okay.
A lot of the training we get, thank goodness. I mean, I hate to say thank goodness in that way, but because we respond to Hempstead on mutual aid.
Right there.
Yeah. It's a lot of mutual aid. We get a lot of experience and training from, going to Hempstead. Actually, the first fire that I, encountered where I actually went in was.
We might as well get right into it.
It was a few summers ago. On what is that, Henry Street, across from the Hempstead Middle School.
Yep.
There's an apartment complex there.
Exactly what you're talking about.
We got the mutual aid. Actually, it's weird because there were 2 fires in that same vicinity across from Washington, the town hall, and then on Henry Street across from the middle school. So we get there, and amazingly, we're the first ones there. And I'm thinking, wow, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
And I'm there.
So what did you all roll? Did you rolled your engine and your truck, or just the engine?
Just the engine.
Okay, just the engine.
They called in for an engine.
Okay.
And so we get there. Their
engine to the scene.
There,
so y'all
and
right
we jump and grab their hose, go inside. And it was.
So do you see the fire from outside or just smoke? What do you see?
So we came in from the north, and the fire was actually at the back end of the complex. So we didn't see anything.
Okay.
Once you entered the unit, you saw all the smoke banking down. It was a kitchen fire, it turns out.
All right. So we got to stop right there. I'm a detail-oriented person. You pull up. Where are you at on the line?
So I was back up.
Okay,
I was back
that's a huge important part. So
yeah,
you're the backup. So when you get to that door, you guys make your entrance. Yep. You see this fire. This is your first fire. What is going through your brain? I got to bring it up. At 50 years old, you're like, what's going through your brain?
So, at FSA.
Ladder Suite, they're transforming emergency services with smart, easy-to-use software built by first responders for first responders. Their fully integrated CAD and RMS solution are designed around real-world operations because no 2 agencies are the same. That's why Ladder Suite is flexible, customizable, and built to fit your needs. Hosted on secure, redundant cloud services, their platform delivers reliability you can count on when it matters most. And with a dedicated support representative for every agency, they're with you from onboarding to daily operations. Ladder Suite, built for the mission. And if you head over to their Instagram, drop a comment and let them know that the Firehouse on WRHU 88.7 FM sent
at FSA. They set the fire. You go into the building. I mean, you feel the heat, right? It's different.
It's controlled.
And
it's Disneyland, we call it.
Exactly. Because there, that there's 3 other guys who've been doing this forever.
There's a guy sitting in the room like
ready,
this.
Exactly. Who's just ready to drag you out.
Yeah.
So now here I am, and I believe I was behind, I want to say Keith, and he said, "Are you ready?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm ready." I mean, literally every time I go on a call, I have to psych myself out because
that's right.
I mean, you're doing something dangerous.
That's right.
Even in the simplest call, I have to psych myself out because you don't really know what you're going to encounter.
That's right.
And so there's Keith, there I am. And Christian is behind me. And so we push in and we finally get close to the kitchen. And yes, full on heat. FSA heat did not feel like this.
Nothing for that.
It did not feel like this. And so he says he's opening up. He opens up. He's spraying all over the place.
Right.
We're soaking
that
wet.
ceiling. Make sure you cool down that stuff.
All of a sudden, that heat just went away, and I'm like, wow, that was something. For the moment of driving to the scene, you have the adrenaline, and then you actually see and feel the fire. You get the adrenaline again. I'm thinking, wow, this is crazy. This is honestly,
am I doing?
This is absolutely crazy.
But then you fall in love instantly.
You know what the funny thing is? Because while as crazy as it is, you realize it was pounded into your head. Listen, this is for life and for property.
That's right.
That's right. And when you have the opportunity to save life. When you have the opportunity to save property after life, do so.
Yeah.
And in that instance, there was no life
there
in danger
Uh-huh.
at the moment, but the fact that we managed to save a complex pretty much,
because it
was a great feeling. And the weirdest thing though, I recall, people call them BS calls, automatic alarms.
Uh-huh.
We went to one at a synagogue on Hempstead Avenue, in the middle of the day. I work from home since COVID. I've been home. So I answer a lot of daytime calls. We get to the synagogue. We hear the alarm. No one's there. I grab the irons. I'm just dying to break into something. And so as we get there, someone opens the door, comes and opens the door. We go around the building looking. Finally, we get downstairs. Ryan gets downstairs. There's a box of tea bags in the box on the stove, and there's a pilot light. And it was smoking. It was about to turn into something real. As much as people, it's a BS automatic alarm.
That would have been.
And once again, I would have been right there on the scene, prepared and ready to go. That's happened at least twice since I've been there. Once as a probie, a law office on Woodfield Road. It was me, two other guys in the back. Ryan was the officer. We get there, and Jack says to me, "Hey, you're going to be on the nozzle."
Okay.
And
here we go.
I'll back you up. Unfortunately, I should say, we get there. There was smoke. It was some sort of electrical issue that they had with a microwave.
Okay.
And no one realized it was the microwave. But at that moment, I'm thinking, yes, it'll be my first job. I'll be on the nozzle. Exactly. That's it. Let me go. But thank goodness once again there was no need, and so it turned out well. But the experience itself of in somebody's moment of danger, biggest need, you are there to really give them some comfort. And that's the only way I could really put it. Even for a rescue call, biggest moment of need, people are thinking, they feel like they're on their deathbed.
That's right.
And you show up, especially when, I tend to do a lot of calls to St. Thomas the Apostle Church. It's right down the block from me.
Okay.
There's a senior center there. Funny story. So one time we get a call, and it's in the middle of Mass. Sick male, chest pain. So I'm at home. I rush down to the church, and there's a gentleman. This is while I was running for office, actually. Okay. Gentleman sitting there. The Lakeview former chief was there. So he already had him on oxygen. So I walk in. I'm going through the assessment steps and everything else. And the gentleman's really not paying attention. He's kind of groggy. And I walk him out to the vestibule. He finally looks up and says, "Oh, it's you. How's the campaign going?" I'm like, what? So I'm like,
that's the beauty of being in your own community.
The campaign is going great,
but don't worry.
I need to take you to the hospital. He's like, no. I just need some fresh air. I'm thinking, no. This is not fresh air type material. You're having chest pain. You're telling me you feel tightness. And,
we gotta go, buddy.
It feels like something sitting on your chest. No.
This is not
fresh air. Fresh air will not solve this. So his son's there. Finally, the son convinces him to go. And he's like, all right, great. I see him a few weeks later at Mass. And he's like, "Oh, you saved my life." And I'm like, listen, you're welcome, but you have a history. You can't just take it so lightly. He's like, now I know. I just thought it was something else. I can't remember what he said. He had something, and it causes him heartburn sometimes. Like,
this isn't heartburn, buddy.
I've had heartburn too.
It's not stopping Mass and having a call.
Exactly. So it turned out, once again, it turned out well. Yeah. And that sort of thing, good outcomes, continues to fuel the desire. I've always prayed not to have a bad outcome, because bad outcomes, you unfortunately will live with it for a while. But you just pray that
doesn't happen.
Hey, as long as you get out there and do the greatest you can. One other story.
Yeah, go ahead.
So once again, I'm at home during the day, and a call comes in for an infant, unresponsive, and I'm like, oh my
so
goodness.
Can I just stop you right there?
Yeah.
That was one of the reasons why I couldn't be an EMT. I went, started taking the classes, doing all of that, going. At that time, I think it wasn't at FSA. They had it at like another place in East Meadow, I think.
Oh yes, the police.
Training.
Yes.
So in East Meadow, right over there. So
at
that's
Newman.
where. So I'm taking the classes over there, and I'm doing everything, and then that's what I thought of.
Yeah.
I don't think if I walked up to a house and they handed me a blue baby and said, fix this, I don't know if my heart can, it'd be too much. And I said, you know what? This isn't for me. I have no problem running into a fire.
That's what I was about to
but I can't do this. But it's just a testament to knowing your limits and knowing what's for you and what's not. So I always tip my hat to EMTs and EMS, and because you're able to do things that I'm not able to do. Like I just can't. But go ahead with the story.
It is a different mindset. I have to admit. So the call comes in, and baby unresponsive, difficulty breathing, and so the street that they gave, I'm thinking, wait a minute, there's only 2 babies on that block that I know of, and I know the parents. I know
both babies on that block.
Exactly, and they're the 2 babies are in the same house.
Yeah,
and so I know the family. I'm thinking, oh my God, I have to go.
Yeah, and
so I get up, I respond to the scene, and I get there, and mom and uncle are there with the baby. The grandparents live directly behind them, and she brings me the baby, and I'm looking at the baby. The baby's a bit lethargic, and I'm like, oh God, I open the baby's mouth, nothing there. And so I warn the mom, listen, this is going to look a little violent, but please understand, I have to do this.
Yeah.
So I flip the baby over, slap the baby on the back, and everything else. All of a sudden, the baby coughs, and she was just moaning, and the baby coughs. And I'm thinking, oh, thank you, Jesus. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, because 2 things. My thinking was, if I don't respond and it turns out to be the family that I think it is, I'll feel horrible for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
If I get there
and I can't
fix it, I will feel horrible for the rest of my life.
It's like
and I'm sitting there thinking, you know what? I'm thinking, okay, do the pats, turn over, look again, and I'm going through all the steps in my head. And finally, the baby starts crying, and I'm like, oh, thank God. The police were there. Our ambulance hadn't arrived yet. He goes, grabs a tank, with the mask, non-rebreather, and the big adult one. So I'm like, listen, I don't care. Let's just put it on the baby's face, And so that we finally get everything together. Our bus arrives. We drive off to the hospital, and as I'm there, the dad walks into the hospital. I'm like, oh, hey, Andrew. So he looks at me, and he's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm an EMT. What do you mean?
I just saved your baby, buddy.
So, it turned out great. It turned out wonderful. But me anyway, I always have that fear, like, okay, I get there. What if I can't resolve the problem? And that actually is a motivator.
Yeah.
Because now, I sit there and I watch EMT prep all the time. Just to keep in my head, okay, you see this, you have to do that. You go to somebody, you hear gurgling, do some suction. You go to a fire, you see the black smoke in the window, and hey, be careful, don't just go breaking in immediately because boom, flash over. All that stuff is waiting for some oxygen. Just remember your training steps. And go from there. In both instances, it applies.
Yeah, and I love that that training. Like you keep saying, you just rely on your training, and coming into the fire department, not knowing anything about it for you, right? Knowing no one. So literally knowing nothing about fire, knowing nothing about EMS work, and you've learned and so that shows that shows that people that are worried and saying they can't and do this. Oh well, I don't know anybody and I've never done this.
Yeah. Listen,
You've never done it either, and you were able to learn and do it.
I came from a completely, I came out of finance.
Okay.
I over close to 30 years in finance, a master's degree in economics. I worked in an office.
Okay.
I sit at a keyboard. I do Excel. That's
what I do.
Exactly. Running into fires, medical emergencies was not.
It's not
the thing that I know, but I will tell you that the training, one of the biggest interesting things, I should say, not biggest. People have this perception that you're a volunteer. Well, how much training do you really get? Do you really know what you're doing, sort of thing? The only reason they're volunteers, they can't be in the FDNY, sort of thing. And in fact, there's a good number of FDNY former members and current members in the volunteer force,
yes,
as well as folks who are fit, ready, and prepared to be in FDNY.
Right.
A lot of them are just waiting for their turn, their number to be called.
Or some don't want to do it. Some
just want to be a volley.
I like being a volley, and I liked working in healthcare. Like that's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to be, a career firefighter.
So the perception that we're not up to that standard is the furthest thing.
Yeah.
Because lots of people used to ask, you see a bunch of big guys. Oh, okay. But the majority of the people you see are fit and ready to do whatever the job is. So
even some of them big guys will run circles around some people. You'd be like, look how big this dude is. They run circles. I mean, I talk to a lot of guys that are in FDNY, and some of them even tell me their best fires, their best things were out here.
Wow.
Like my best fires have been out here. So, so I think that's definitely amazing. But let's get to, so when you join West Hempstead, do you become an EMT? Like that's something you have to do, or you can choose not to?
Oh, no. Yeah. So when I joined, I joined just fire.
Okay.
Initially. And as a probie, you're on the back of the bus because they need a little extra muscle to help move the patient and everything else. And I kept realizing, a lot of our rescue calls, we would have to wait and send a second alert. And I kept thinking, wait a minute, we don't have enough EMTs. We need some extra people. There were guys who were always, answering the call. I'm thinking, man, these guys are gonna get run. They're gonna run ragged.
Yeah.
They're not gonna survive. How the heck are they doing this?
Yeah.
And so after I, got out of probation for fire, I decided, you know what?
I'm gonna do it.
They need some help.
Yeah.
And honestly, as I said, I'm home working during the day. A lot of guys are going into the city. A lot of guys are doing other things where they can't respond. We have a paramedic, but not every day of the week.
Yeah.
So I figured, you know what? There's a need there.
I can help out.
I'll do it. And so I went through VEB. Did the whole what felt like 10-year program. Of course, it wasn't that long,
yeah, but it felt long.
It felt long. Passed and became an EMT. So it was more. I got into fire and realized the department needed an extra hand as an EMT. So I decided, hey, why not? I'm here. I have the time.
Yeah,
I'm able. So I did.
So you'll do it.
Yeah.
So you do it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the point of volunteering, right?
That's right.
It's I go to a scene of any kind. I'm there to do something.
That's right.
It doesn't matter what I'm doing. If I'm hitting the hydrant, that's fine. Because honestly, that in my mind, while I'm hitting the hydrant, I'm thinking those guys who are going to get all the praise couldn't get all the praise had I not opened that hydrant and had the water available to
which is the craziest thing I always say. We give one of the most important jobs to
somebody who knows nothing, who just came off the street, literally.
Like this is one of the most important jobs.
And don't get me wrong. The first time I had to hit the hydrant, I'm thinking, oh man, I could be running in there because as soon as I hit the hydrant, then I can go on the line. No. And I'm sitting there. The engineer is like, oh, he hasn't said anything. I call up like, wait a minute, I'm ready. Are you ready? Like, no answer. So finally, one of the officers radios back to me, says, "Listen, he'll let you know when he's ready."
Yeah.
so I sat there. I waited. By the time he said go, I open up. I get over to the house itself. Everything was done.
They put it out on tank water.
This is horrible. Like, I didn't get a chance to even
do anything.
I didn't get a chance to smell the smoke. I didn't
Nothing.
get to see. Like, okay, fine. But at that very moment, I realized, wow, all the young kids, and I think it's just an age thing, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I recognize that, yes, there's the energy of wanting to rush in and put out the fire, find, get that rescue and everything else. But then there's a lot of background work
to make all of that happen.
Exactly. As wonderful of a feeling as you get when you're on the nozzle and, you're the backup or even control, you're close. The proximity is there. But when you have the job of providing the water, that is going to do the ultimate job. If you screw up,
everything, the entire operations is now.
The property is gone, life is probably gone, and the guys that are depending on you on that nozzle closer to, where the action is taking place, they too could be endangered.
That's right.
If you're not paying attention, if you are not ready and, willing to sit there, not necessarily be the guy who rushes in. It once again, every job
is important. It's important. And sometimes, like for me, being outside sometimes is more intense. I remember my first job as a chauffeur was more intense than me going inside. It was just like, I got to get this done. And even being on a hydrant, you want to know panic, go up to a hydrant and you go to touch it and it falls over. And that house is going. You want to know panic? You think being inside is something? Let that happen. And you're like, what do I do? Then, oh man. So sometimes being outside is
funny.
More.
my first bit of work on the hydrant.
In the heart of Blue Point, New York, the Johnny Mac Foundation stands as a beacon of hope and resilience. Founded in memory of FDNY firefighter John F. McNamara, who lost his life to 9/11 related cancer, this foundation embodies his enduring motto, whatever it takes. To supporting first responders and their families, the Johnny Mac Foundation is committed to making a long-lasting impact. Join us in honoring John's legacy and making a difference. Visit at johnnymacfoundation.org to learn more and contribute.
It was cold. We get there, and we could not get the cap off.
Yeah.
And so literally it was my very first time at a fire. I think I may have been in the department. I didn't even complete essentials yet.
Yeah. Okay.
So first fire, it was me and two others. We get there and we're trying to force this thing. It wouldn't work. And
like, is it me? Is it because I'm new?
And so finally Gerard comes by and he's looking at it. We're like, we can't get it. And he grabs a freaking monkey wrench and bangs on the thing. And
the ice
a few times, sure enough, boom, it came off. Meanwhile, me being there for 2 days, I'm in panic mode because I'm thinking,
I can't even do the little thing.
They're going to kick me out. I don't know what I'm doing. That's it. My fire career is over. And afterwards, he's like, yeah, in the wintertime, or even if we haven't, opened the hydrant in a while, rust may build. Yeah. And you just need to bang the crap out of it. He didn't say quite say crap. And at some point, it'll loosen up, which is also why, you go on an automatic alarm.
I
go,
was just
go,
about to
go crack.
go crack the hydrant.
hydrant.
Probies, listen,
Yep.
always do that.
Go crack the
Automatic
hydrant.
alarm. There's a hydrant there. Crack it open. Flush
Yep.
it out.
Yep.
We know now it's working.
Yeah.
You don't know how many times you do that, and the next week you come back to the same area. And you're like,
Exactly.
we know that works, or
Exactly.
we now know it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Yep.
Definitely.
In which case, hey, call the water
Call
department.
it, tell them to come fix this. All right, let me ask you a question, because you were talking when you said, the name of the company, and I guess it's just one company, right? One company. What was the full name? You kind of.
It's Victory Chemical Hose and Engine Company.
Where does the chemical come in? Is it just because you respond to?
You know what? I started reading the history of the department, and I didn't quite finish it. I can't lie to you. I'm not sure.
Because I'm like, what? I'm like, no one else, to name it chemical. Yeah. Like, I wonder what that history is.
You know what?
That they put that in there.
I'm going to find out, and I'm going to reach back out to you and let you know.
Let me know about that.
Yeah, there actually is a full history of the company. And it's available online and everything else. But, the folks who might know, because the department has, this lineage. There are families that have been there since the beginning of the department. Yeah, you have, of course, you have Bromes. You have the Demundas, the Schroers, just folks who have, I'm sure I'm going to forget somebody and piss somebody off. I'm sorry. I apologize now if I forgot it. But you have these folks whose, it reminds me, a while ago I thought about Forrest Gump. He's in the war. He said, "Oh, I fought in the war. My father fought in the war. My father's father fought in the war. My father's father." And it goes
and that's
on.
how it is. Yep.
And literally, so the history of the department is there, and I can easily find out.
Yeah.
So
you'll find that. That's it.
Reach out
and all
to
the departments have that. Those families that just like that when you think of Uniondale Fire Department, you think of like the Craytons, you think of the Overtons, you think of because these people have been there. Their kids have been there.
Yeah.
So
and now there's a new set. The kids are now having kids,
and they're bringing them down.
You can see it. You can see
it. And it starts to come down. So I gotta. I want to ask a question about you being a probie, right? Being a probie at 50, El Proby, which to me is just like, I can imagine, but you're a grown man, you're 50 years old, and you told me about FSA, but how about in the Firehouse? Were there any other probies when you joined? Or were you how is that? Because how is the dynamic of knowing, like, listen, I'm 50, I got kids your age. Your officer could have been your child, maybe.
Yes.
So how does that dynamic work for you?
You know what? I'm a different sort of person, to be honest with you. And of course, with age comes a certain level of knowing your place, knowing your lane, sort of thing. I served in the military. I was a reservist for 6 years. Okay. And so you understand hierarchy. I chose to come here at 50.
Yeah,
those kids have been here for a while. The third lieutenant and those young guys, they've been there and they know what they're doing. Those young kids
know their stuff.
Know their stuff. And so regardless if I'm 50 or if I'm whatever, they know more than I do.
And I want to learn.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
I know that they know more than I do. Those kids lived in the Firehouse.
Yes.
They were raised.
Born in the Firehouse.
Literally. So yes, I'm 50. If they want to know something about finance, hey, come talk to me. Absolutely.
I got you.
Yeah, they want to know something about finance, come talk to me. When I need to know something about fire, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm 50. They have the knowledge.
That's right.
Yes, I'm 50, but they will teach me how to keep myself alive along with everyone else who's with me alive. That's right. And then hopefully keep someone else at the scene alive. It's that simple. I don't have the ego to say, you know what, you're a 24-year-old. What do you know?
Yeah.
In fact, you do know quite a bit. You do know quite a bit more than I do in
this topic.
sphere.
I might know a little more of life, but you know this.
It's a matter of compartmentalizing. You know what?
Yeah.
Fire, you're the expert. If you want to know something about structured finance, come talk to me. If you want to know something about investments, come talk to me. If you want to know something about economics, come talk to me. But when I walk into the firehouse,
I'm coming to talk to you.
I understand the hierarchy. I understand seniority, because I mean we have guys who, you know, like Richie, 40 plus years he's been there. Lou, who former FDNY, both of them, you know, guys who've been there. You know, you have the young lieutenants, you know, Daniel, Joe, and Rob, who, I mean, they know what they're doing, and I respect that. You can't walk into a place and expect that you should lead because of your age.
Yeah.
If you know, I knew nothing about anything.
Yeah.
So what am I going to direct anybody to do? I mean, so yes, know your role, stick to your lane, and learn what you can learn to the best of your ability. And at some point, you if you have the desire to get to those positions, you will. But first you need to learn something. And if it requires learning it from the 20-year-old,
then
so
that's what it is.
Yeah.
So have you thought about running for?
Absolutely not.
So no,
absolutely not. No,
I'm just gonna say absolutely yes. Absolutely not. No. So no office positions. Yeah, You're good. You're good.
With once again, I went into the department with the simple desire of lending a hand, doing my part.
Yeah.
And those guys have been there toiling, you know, all their lives.
Yeah.
And they do have a desire to be officers. They do have a desire to, you know, one day be in the chief's office. I commend them for that. I don't have that desire.
Yeah.
And why would I, you know, I say I just got there, you know, having just got there, decide that, you know what, there's a certain level of arrogance that would require.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
To say that, you know what, screw you. You've been here, you know, 8 years. So what? I'm here 4 years and don't know much yet. I still want to be. You know, no, that level of arrogance could get people killed. To be honest with you, I would prefer not. There's enough guilt riding on my head, like I said,
to not have to now worry about all of you all too.
Exactly. There's enough guilt riding on my head. If I don't hit that hydrant properly, stuff could happen. If I don't, you know, attend to this person, medical emergency, stuff could happen. I already have all that. I don't now need to have
that person
5
plus
guys
worried about you and now the whole scene and this.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
I prefer to show up at a scene, tell me what you need done, and I will do it to the best of my ability. That's it. And once I leave, you know, until the next call comes in, you know, then I let my hair down. But I just think that out of respect for them and the effort and the years, the dedication, the commitment, you know, that they've put into this, that I don't think I would be doing the department a great service to try to leap into that sort of position when these guys really want it.
You know what though? The longer you stay in there, sometimes you'll start getting the nudges on the shoulder, like, "Hey, you know, Jean, you want to run?"
By that time, I'll be 60, and I don't know that. I don't know that.
You're like, you know what? I'm good. I'm 60 at this moment.
I don't know.
All right, so let's keep going. You know what we could do? We could get into a game that we call the flashover. Let's do that. Let's get into a game that we call a flashover. So I don't know if you've heard about the flashover, but on the flashover, what we'll do is I'll ask you a couple questions. I ask you something like Android, Apple, and you got to give me the answer pretty quick, okay? But we'll do, you know, different fire-related topics. We'll do some TV shows, some movies. Yeah, if you haven't seen them, just say we haven't seen them, and we'll move on, okay?
Let me tell you, I don't watch much TV shows.
Okay, all right. So then maybe
I may not see them.
So maybe we'll leave that part out. I'll only ask the one question on that. And then if you haven't seen it, you haven't seen it. All right. All right. So are you ready for the flashover?
All set.
All right. Let's go. So you're at a parade, right? Do you want to drive the. And are you a chauffeur yet?
Oh, I started training. So
you started training?
Yeah, I'm qualified on the 2 buses and the 761. It's our smaller engine. But I started campaigning and had to postpone the whole training.
You know what?
And
let's pause the flashover and let's talk a little bit about that, because you said campaigning more than once. And for the people that don't know, what are you talking about? What were you campaigning for?
Yes, I ran for the Hempstead Town Council for District 1.
Okay.
The election was November 4th. I unfortunately did not
Didn't
come up
make
on
it.
top.
Okay.
But it was a great experience. I met a ton of good folks here in Uniondale, the Uniondale Fire Department.
That's right.
And just a lot of people in the community just working to do a lot of good. Whether it's fire, whether it's for example, Notion Garden Civic Association and all those folks in different organizations in Uniondale, in West Hempstead, Linda, who's with the West Hempstead Chamber of Commerce, trying to really revive the economics of that organization.
But what made you want to do that? What made you want to run?
I believe there was a need. Two parts, right? I grew up in Hempstead. I graduated from Hempstead High School, class of '87.
There we go. Okay.
So I know the condition that Hempstead was in when I was there. The district, by the way, is comprised of West Hempstead, Uniondale, Roosevelt, and North Baldwin.
Okay.
So I'm very familiar with those areas. I have family in Roosevelt and in Uniondale. I grew up in Hempstead.
Yeah.
So I've seen the condition of Hempstead. I see the condition of other council districts, and in my mind, there's a disparity between the services and investment that was received in Council District 1 in comparison to others. And I felt that the current council person wasn't really doing as much, or maybe needed some extra assistance. And so I decided, hey, let me run. I think I can really contribute to getting us the sort of services and investment that is still needed in my mind.
Yeah.
But as I said, I didn't come up on top. But it was one heck of an experience. I learned a lot. I met a lot of, people that have given me some great advice and encouragement. And, if anyone ever has the opportunity to do it and they feel that they can truly contribute, do it. I would say go.
Would you run
it.
Again?
Ooh.
It's too soon. Yeah, you're not sure yet.
Yeah. I'm still actually decompressing
from
finally
all of that.
It was work.
It's a lot.
Every weekend, every evening, you're at a candidate event, you're at a ribbon cutting, it was a lot. And I recall after the election was over, my wife was like, okay, finally, now we can
go to the movies and do something together.
Exactly. But the craziest thing, the election was November 4th. My oldest daughter was getting married that weekend, November 8th. The next morning, so the results come out at 9. Next morning, 7:30 a.m., we're on a plane out to Baton Rouge, Louisiana for my daughter's wedding. And it was the greatest thing. Yeah. But from that moment, I said, you know what, let me take some time.
There you go.
Just
to
decompress,
you, to the family.
Reintroduce myself to my wife.
What's your wife's name?
Wendy.
Wendy. Shout out Wendy. Wendy for lending him to the community, whether it's fire, whether it's, being in council for, district running for that. You couldn't do a lot of the things you do without Wendy.
No.
So we got to acknowledge Wendy. Because you couldn't do those things.
She actually has put up with a lot of my crazy desires.
Just sitting there on the couch and say, "Hey, I want to run in a burning building." Wendy, what do you think about that? Okay, so shout out Wendy. All right, let's get back to the flashover. All right, so you are at a parade. Do you want to drive the rig or drive the chief truck?
I've actually not done any of those.
If I
had the choice, you know what? I think I drive the rig, actually.
Gonna drive the rig.
Yeah,
it's more fun
because
more
you
fun.
know the little kids are out there waving. They're waving
every
at the
parade
rig.
I go
They're
to,
not
and I drive
waving
the
at
truck.
Chiefs.
I'll stop the whole parade, hop out, and start taking pictures. You just love it. People love it.
I think the rig is more fun.
All right, let's keep going. Brush fire or rocking dumpster fire?
So I'm gonna go for brush.
Okay.
Because we had two episodes, right? At Hempstead State Lake Park, and weirdly, behind a building on Hempstead Avenue, somehow a fire started. Actually, 3 episodes. Crazy. Someone saw bees in a hole in a tree,
they tried to
in the middle of a residential neighborhood. They poured an accelerant into the tree.
The things people do.
So going back to the brush fire. Those things are hard to put out, actually.
Those things are no joke.
Yeah.
No joke.
I'll take the brush fire.
Okay, you're taking the brush
Yes.
fire. All right, here we go. This is a good one for you because we kind of touched on this a little bit. Confirmed car fire or automatic alarm with a light smoke condition. Which
automatic alarm, because
automatic.
that could
That's
be
what I was saying.
that could be something, and chances are, people BS automatic alarm, so the immediate response isn't there. So if you show up and it turns out to be something,
everybody's at this car fire putting this car out, and you're actually there.
You're on
scene when something's real. All right, let's keep going. You pull up to house fire. It's rocking. The chief says, all right, y'all have to go in there, and you got to pick someone to go with you. Are you taking the salty old vet or the young, hungry rookie? Which one you taking? Chief says, pick somebody. Let's go.
You know what? I am going to go with the hungry rookie.
Hungry rookie.
Because I know me personally, I've been itching. It's the minute I got in, hey, pick me. Let me do, and
pick me,
I know
me
personally.
Yeah.
I was ready. I wanted to do it. That kid is, as long as, you have the confidence that they are capable. Absolutely. I'm going with that guy. Because the veteran, they actually do want the younger guys,
they do
to get
they
the
do.
experience, to get the chance.
Yep.
So I'm going to go with the rookie.
Okay, let's keep going. Midnight call or 5 a.m. call?
5 a.m. I wake up at 5 a.m.
You wake up, so let's take that 5 a.m. call.
I'll take the 5 a.m.
All right, let's keep going. Summer heat in gear or winter cold in wet boots?
I say neither. They should ban all fires during extreme conditions. No.
If it is cold, it is hot. That's it. That's it.
Yeah,
Everybody don't do anything.
I'll take the winter, actually.
Winter?
Yes,
Winter cold, wet boots.
I will take the winter.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. Let's keep going here. You know what? Since you are EMT, let's bring in some of those EMT questions. All right. Trauma call or medical call?
Ooh. You know what? It depends.
I love it. I love when the questions get the people thinking.
So it depends, because there's some trauma. All you can really do is scoop them up and run. Whereas medical calls, you actually get a chance to try to diagnose, to figure out the problem, to see if there's something you can,
what's
something
so crazy?
you can do.
I've asked this question tons of times, and I think you're the first person to ever say medical calls.
Oh.
Every EMT always says, no, I want the trauma. But but I love what you said, because you said you just scoop whatever the trauma is. It may blow your mind, but you're just scooping them up and leaving. A medical call, you gotta use your training. You gotta think, what's this? What's that? What's this?
Exactly. So
I'm glad you said
somebody's having chest pain. It could just be angina. I mean, who knows?
We don't know.
It could just be but you
or it could be something real.
Exactly. You have to work through all the possibilities, and me personally,
I
prefer to work through the possibilities to solve a problem.
There we go.
Because if you go to a major trauma, sometimes there's really not much for you to do, but
scoop them up, like you said, and
go.
Get out of here.
Because I'm not an MD.
I can't attach your leg back here.
I'm not an MD. I'm not a paramedic. There's not much I can do. ABCs. And that's it. Let's go. So
there we go. All right. So medical call. All right. You pull up to a scene, right? Chief is there again, and on this corner, they're doing CPR on somebody. On this corner, they're delivering a baby. Chief says, pick which one.
I'm going CPR.
You're going.
I'm going to CPR.
Going to CPR.
Yeah.
Going to CPR.
Yeah.
Going to CPR. Okay,
Yeah.
let's go. Cleaning the ambulance or restocking the supplies?
Neither is desirable, but cleaning the ambulance is
Cleaning the ambulance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll clean the bus.
You'll clean the bus. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So I got one question for you. I know you're not, deciding to go in the office, but I want you to put on that hat if you were an officer. Okay. Everyone is at the firehouse. You have a critique that day, right? It's a Sunday, and is Sunday the day you usually everyone gets down?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's 8:00. Everybody's there. You're an officer, whether you're lieutenant, captain, whatever. It's 8:00. Everyone's there. Your critique is at 10:00. You have 2 hours. Do you have all the guys clean the firehouse, or do you do another training?
Somebody's going to be judging.
That's
Presumably, you've been training all throughout, so I'm preparing for the critique. Yeah.
So let's clean up.
Exactly.
Let's get this firehouse looking
Presumably, you do some sort of fire training on a regular basis, and you don't need to rush to do something extra. Now, let's get that firehouse together.
Let's get it together, and then we'll head over there. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So let's keep going here. All right. Which one gets you going? Right? Is it the lights in the sirens, or is it the air horn? Which one? Which one? You've ridden the front seat, right?
So one time.
Okay. So because in the front seat, it's usually, we usually say stay off the air horn because that was my brakes, but it's not like that anymore. The new rigs where you can hit the horn as many times, it doesn't mess with my air brakes. Yeah. So horn, or which one gets you going? The horn or the sirens? Okay.
When you're going down the road to whatever, the sirens is what really gets the blood flowing. Yeah, you'll hear the horn here and there, but you get there.
Switching it up, doing the different ones,
and you're coming to an intersection, and that it's just funny. I posted something on Facebook the other day, just a description of that feeling that you get going to whatever,
going to a call.
Yeah,
it's nothing like
what really gets you in the mindset. Can I tell you a quick story?
Yeah, of course.
So the other week, we get a call. It's in Hempstead Mutual Aid, and it comes in as odor of gas. Like, okay, we get dressed. We're on route. As we get to Westminster, it turns to smell of smoke.
Okay,
so we're like, this is turning
real. Yeah.
So the sirens are blaring, and as we're getting there, all of a sudden it signal 10. Now, the sirens are going.
Now
everybody's
like,
putting on everything under the sun.
We got one.
Yes, we get there. Turned out to be they had it under control by the time we pulled up. But what really got you to the mindset? Yes, we knew we were going to a call. We were in bunker gear. We had our radios, but
you heard that,
the mindset changes once you
10.
hear, smell of smoke. They see smoke. Now it's a full
multiple calls. All of those little things that fire
all of a sudden
tell
it's
us.
a signal 10, and you're like, wow, this is it. We're going in. And naturally somebody's like, are you hitting the hydrant? I was like, come on.
All right, let's keep going. On things. So, back in the flashover. Now, you said you don't watch TV or movies, but I got to ask you, Backdraft of Ladder 49. Have you seen them? So you got to see them. That is something. So your guys at West Hempstead right now are looking at this. They're like, how did y'all never saw it? Like, you're gonna have to see that. So they're going to probably sit you down and make you watch Backdraft and Ladder 49. Those are like the Bibles of the Firehouse.
I hear.
That's it. So, all right. But you do know this question, one of the most important questions I'm going to ask today. And it's just one company, so I got to know what you think. Engine or truck?
So for a while, I used to try to make the engine.
Okay.
I prefer engine.
Okay.
Right. But I like I said, these young kids, they sit on the radio. and some of them are literally at the firehouse
Waiting.
all day waiting. And so I would never make an engine.
Okay.
So I started liking the truck, actually,
Okay.
because you figure, hey, I get there, okay, I'm throwing up some ladders, I'm doing a search, all those things, and it's actually fun.
Okay.
And think about it, somebody may need to bail,
and
I'm
there to help them.
There you go.
So which one?
I would prefer the engine.
But you still would prefer the
I
engine. All
prefer
right,
the
so
engine.
we're going engine. I'm an engine guy. So, and in Uniondale we have different companies. So
Yep.
it's Union, it's truck, it's that.
Yep.
So I'm from an engine company. I love truck work though
Yeah,
because when you go to FSA, I remember going to FSA from being in the engine all these years, and you're like, you know what, FSA, let me go on with the truck. Let's just see how that is. And
You know what?
it's a different freedom that I'm not used to because they love to say our umbilical cord as they love to say with our old, but it's a different freedom, being in truck.
There are lots of times you get to a place and they need the muscle to get in.
Yeah,
That's
right.
To go
That's right.
spray some
Yep.
water.
Yep.
And
That's right.
and
That's so
so
true.
they both have an important role to play.
That's right.
But given a choice, engine.
Yeah, engine. Okay. All right. So last couple questions I got for you. In a whole, how has being a volunteer firefighter changed your life?
You know what? The number of people that I've met who just are fixtures of the community, whether it's here in Uniondale, West Hempstead, just really nice, wholesome people.
Yeah.
People who I very likely would have never met in my life,
Wow.
who, have come into my life and really taught me something new, given me a new perspective on service.
Yeah.
Because as we said, we are doing this as volunteers, willing to sacrifice ourselves in service to others.
Yep.
And those sorts of people, I mean, that's a special group of
It's a
people.
special group of people.
And
Yeah.
when you walk into them on the street, you would know. You would know.
Wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
You see them at ShopRite. You see them at Stop and
Exactly.
Shop. You see them there. Yeah.
These are some remarkable people. And
Hometown heroes. That's what we
the
are.
idea that a young 18-year-old person, is willing to sacrifice like that for the community. People talk
Huge.
about, these young kids nowadays, they don't,
But you're seeing different
there
when you're in
are
There's some good ones in there.
some good ones out there who are willing to sacrifice, give up everything. Think about it. Young kids, you could be out likely drinking, hanging out, partying on a Friday night.
They're at the firehouse.
They're at the
Waiting for a
firehouse.
call to
Exactly.
help somebody.
Exactly. That is a special kind of person.
So true. So true. That is a special type of person. All right. So last question I got for you. If someone is listening that is, thinking about getting in, or someone that's in and they only have a couple of weeks or months, what type of advice would you want to give them?
You know what? Same advice I got. Basically, when you hear the tones, go.
Okay.
You may or may not make it onto the rig, but go. Because lots of times I gave you the experience where I'm working from home and I'm relatively new to the department. No one else is available. Everybody's at work and not nearby. You will get the opportunity to gain so much experience, so much knowledge. Keep showing up. And when you show up, be dressed and ready.
There you go.
It's that simple. Be dressed, be ready, and follow directions.
Yeah.
Because just like when I first got there, I mean, yes, I get to a scene. What do you need me to do? Just let me know. I will be on it. But show up, be prepared, and you'll get your chance. That's the advice I was given, and that's the advice I'd pass on.
I love it. I really love the fact that, you've lived an entire life. Like you've done that. You've had, and I don't want to say entire life, but you've had kids. You have kids that are older. Yeah. And then, when you hear passion for the fire department, It's the younger guys.
Yeah.
It's the 18-year-olds,
Yeah.
the 20-year-olds. So for you to have
Absolutely.
this passion, it shows. Just for anyone that's listening that's thinking of joining, this is your call. Join. Look at the passion that
All the
he has.
50-year-olds out there.
Yeah. But all of the passion that you have for not there, because I started earlier than you. I started, I think I was like 26 or something like that. But I already had a child, I already had this, so I was the older guy. Like, yeah, I'm in here. But for you to have the passion that you have and really appreciate what you're taught, what you're doing, I think is amazing. And I can feel the passion from all the way over here. I can feel it. So I love it. So thank you so much for coming down to the Firehouse.
Thank you
man.
for having me.
Thank
was
you.
a great experience. I've seen a good number of your shows.
That's good.
It's a great. The fact that you've been at this for, as you were telling me, just over a year,
it hasn't been
is
too
amazing.
long.
This is a great show.
Thank you.
Keep up the great work.
Thank you so much. Last question: if there was someone that you think should be on the show, shout their name out right now.
Oh, you know what? Can I do 3?
Yeah, shout them out.
So I mentioned the 3 young officers at West Hempstead.
Okay.
Daniel, Joe, and Rob.
Daniel, Joe, and Rob, you have been paged to come down to the Firehouse.
They have some knowledge I think that your listeners could really benefit from.
I love it.
I mean, great.
When you get back home, make sure you tell them. Make sure you tell them.
Now they're going to kill me.
They've been paged. They've been looking for them. Listen, thank you so much for coming down to the Firehouse. All right, thank you so much. All right, so we just heard, and make sure I say it right, is Jean-Baptiste. Jean-Baptiste. Yes. We just heard from Jean-Baptiste from the West Hempstead Fire Department about his life as a firefighter. I hope you all enjoyed this conversation. Please like, share, subscribe, do all of those things. I am your host, Chris Moses, and please tune in next week to another great conversation in the Firehouse.